Welcome to the digital presentation of formative assessment and parental involvement. Colgan found that students only spend 14% of their hours in grades K through 12. Therefore, schools cannot be held completely responsible for the end result of a child's academic growth. Parents are important. What is formative assessment? Formative assessment, for example, could be like a child playing basketball on a team, and the coach sees that he is dribbling wrong and corrects him, and the child corrects his dribbling in that moment without a consequence. He's not kicked off the team. He's not given a bad grade. That is what formative assessment is. The definition here says formative assessment is when the teacher sees the student doing work incorrectly and corrects them. It's better to do it without giving a grade. However, some teachers do give grades. Also, teachers use this in their lessons when teaching. When they see a misconception, they might back up a little in their lesson and teach the problem in a different way. Think back to when you got your driver's license, when you took the driver's test. Did you have to take it more than once? Do you know anyone that did have to take it more than once? What about the ACT or SAT? Did you have to take this more than once? I know I did. The bridge in Murfreesboro. I heard that it did not get finished in time. However, the workers were allowed more time to complete the job without a penalty. This is how I want you to think about your students getting more opportunities to correct their work. What does research say about formative assessment? Ainsworth states that by using formative assessment that over time one will truly see improvement in student achievement and teaching. Popham found that descriptive feedback is preferred to grades. Willem and his colleagues found that students that have been taught using formative assessment can make twice as much progress in 1 year. Clute and his colleagues found that formative assessment use for math had greater effects than when used during other subjects like reading and writing. Student, teacher, or computer-directed formative assessment were found to be more effective for math. Black and Willem found that the gains in achievement from formative assessment are amongst the largest ever reported for educational interventions. Also, formative assessment helps the lowest achievers and special ed students the most. What does research say about parental involvement? Parents want to help, regardless of race, ethnicity, or socioeconomic status. Parents want to help their child in school and are willing to help. MAP also found, along with Henderson, that the following positive results from parental involvement occurred. Higher grades and achievement scores on high-stakes assessments, enrollment in classes that were more challenging, improved attendance, better adaptation to school, better social skills and behavior, and students passed more classes. Lamb had 3 students pass New York's high-stakes assessment 1 year. He made a great effort to involve parents through test prep workshops and building relationships. Then, 57% passed the English Language Arts test and 74% passed the math test. In a subsequent year, he had over 90% of his students pass both tests. That's phenomenal. Okay, this next part is for especially the teachers. I want you to get this mindset when you're thinking about your students in your classroom. Let's say that a student did not correct their work. Maybe meet them at the bus and say, hey, I need you to correct this work. If that doesn't work, maybe catch them out to dinner with their family. Hey, you didn't correct your work. I need you to correct this. If that doesn't work, maybe catch them at a birthday party. Hey, I got a present for you. I still need you to correct your work. If that doesn't work, when they grow up and get married, go to their wedding and say, hey, I need you to correct this before you get married, please. If that doesn't work, maybe show up when they have their first child and say, hey, you still haven't corrected your work. I need you to do that real quick. And if need be, show up at their funeral, knock on the casket and say, hey, you can't die yet. I need you to correct this. I know this is a silly example, but I want you to have this mindset of being committed to having the students correct their work. And I will say that my students last year, I used that motto, and they did great. No one ever complained. I usually have at least one student per year that will not do their work, or it's a struggle to get them to do their work, and I did not have that happen at all this year. What do I need the teachers to do? Number one, I need you to give students fast feedback while they are working. However, don't give too fast of feedback. We want the students to think and try to figure out their work on their own also. Number two, never give them the answer without first having them tell you what they think. This is what I was just talking about. You may then give a hint if needed, and then eventually give the answer if needed. 3, allow students to correct their work for full credit, as long as it's done in a reasonable amount of time, like during the grading period. 4, allow students to take work home to complete if needed. 5, allow students to ask you what words mean on their test during their test. 6, allow students to correct their test for full credit. 7, progress monitor each test. 8, meet with each student about their test. 9, have parents sign the progress monitoring sheet weekly. And 10, make contact weekly with parents. What do I need the parents to do? I need you to help your child correct their work in a positive way. If it starts to get stressful, just put it away, because that will be harmful. Then go back to it later. 2, never give them the answer without first having them tell you what they think. You may then give a hint if needed, and then eventually the answer. Like I said a moment ago, you want to give fast feedback, but you don't want it to be too fast. 3, sign weekly progress monitoring sheets. And 4, the teacher will make contact with you weekly by note, text, phone call, etc. Feel free to contact them in the same manner when needed. And that wraps it up for formative assessment and parental involvement. Just let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.